Hello! Welcome to the Big Papa Breeze main channel, where I like to believe that I have a little something for everyone. So if you're here to learn history sans comedy, we're going to go ahead and continue the traditional style from the roots of this channel, interesting history, in a more professional light with new topics as well as old ones presented a little bit better with a little bit more information. Anyway, welcome back to Interesting History. Today's topic revolves around the tragedy that took place during the filming of Twilight Zone the movie, and serves as an example of the importance of labor laws and safety protocols in any style of production. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just start at the beginning. Twilight Zone, or The Twilight Zone, is a wildly successful anthology TV series that ran from 1959 to 1964, releasing 156 episodes across its 5 seasons. The success of the original led to a movie being greenlit over 15 years later, one that would be directed by both John Landis and Steven Spielberg. The movie would follow the same footsteps as the show, featuring multiple different stories across 4 segments and a prologue. For this video, we're just going to focus on the first segment though, a reimagining of the concepts of the Season 3 episode, A Quality of Mercy. It follows Bill Connor as he experiences the struggles firsthand of those he casually threw around slurs at, giving him a rude awakening to his own racism. The segment, directed by John Landis, had its script sent to the higher-ups at Warner Brothers for approval, who actually initially objected it, as both Terry Semel, the studio president, and Lucy Fisher, who was in charge in the production, felt changes need to be made. The main point of contention actually came from the main character himself, as they felt Bill Connor, played by veteran actor Vic Morrow, was so unlikable that audiences could simply not care about him. Writing in some changes in order to give his character some redemption, he would rescue 2 Vietnamese orphans from an attack on their village by a US helicopter. The changes were approved, and they were ready to start filming. Or at least they would be, once they filled the 2 new roles that they had opened up. Those 2 roles were given to 6-year-old Renee Shin-Yi Chen and 7-year-old Micah Din Lee. However, their entrance to the project would be problematic to say the least. You see, in order for children to work at night, in this case 3 a.m., a special waiver is needed to be sought at under California child labor laws, and John Landis, for whatever the reason, elected not to pursue one of these. It can also be assumed that even if he did seek one out, he would be rejected as there was presence of explosives in the scene in question. Landis instead elected to have the children be paid under the table, thus in a way to avoid adhering to the laws. At 2:20 a.m. on July 3rd, 1982, John Landis directed filming for the scene in question to start. Now, there had been a few problems before regarding the safety of the helicopter, as Dorsey Wingo, the pilot of the helicopter, was actually burned from the heat of the explosives. Additionally, Richard Ebenthayer, a fire safety officer on site, had raised concerns over the size of the explosions, though they were never brought to Landis directly. The take started anyway though, as the 3 actors started being followed by the helicopters while special effects and pyrotechnics abounded. At one point, Dorsey Wingo experienced trouble navigating the fireballs, but before anybody could properly react, 2 more charges were detonated in far too close of proximity. Just reading from the aircraft accident report, as the pilot turned his helicopter to the left to provide camera coverage, the helicopter's tail section was engulfed in a fireball created by the detonation of a special effects explosion. The tail rotor assembly separated, and the helicopter descended out of control. The helicopter, now out of control, essentially fell out of the sky, tragically falling on top of Vic, Renee, and Micah, killing them all instantly. Dorsey Wingo and the 5 passengers of the helicopter survived the crash with minor injuries, and filming was immediately halted. What followed was both a civil and criminal suit being filed against all that was involved. And there is a very well-written account of the court proceedings written by Denise No, and I've linked that below if you're interested in learning more about everything surrounding the court trial. However, on May 29th, 1987, almost 4 years after the movie's release, John Landis was acquitted of involuntary manslaughter, though he would suffer other repercussions as co-director Steven Spielberg ended their friendship following the stunt. Following the accident, Warner Brothers established various dedicated safety committees to set standards and programs to prevent anything from this ever happening again. A lot can be learned from this tragedy, but perhaps the most important takeaway is that laws and safety protocols exist for a reason, and nothing good can come from actively going against what ensures the safety of you and others. Thank you. Take care of yourself out there, okay, guys? I hope you learned something today, and I appreciate you watching the video. If you have any suggestions for this format or anything else that I do, feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you next time.